Hello, it is Sunday, so we could be talking about this Vola OS TNC or this Shure GL wireless that I'm going through into the brand new Rev D25. We're not. It's Sunday. We're talking about a song. So what song are we talking about? We're talking about something that we've all heard before. What a Wonderful World. Louis Armstrong performed it. I don't know who wrote it. Does it say that here on the website somewhere? Not that I can see. So I could have, of course, researched that, but that's not what it's about. So someone wrote it. Louis Armstrong performed it, or maybe even wrote it.
I see trees of green.
What a mind-blowing song. And it's a very special song in terms of form. And it has a magical simplicity and innocence. And I love this. The first time I heard it, I was very young. I don't know, under 10. And my brother was watching the BBC production, the very horrible but beautiful BBC production of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. My introduction to the series, which, influenced me in life a lot, which is why the channel is called HP42. It's, by the way, how you say that, HP. It's my initials. And at the very, very, very end, when Arthur Dent finds out that the whole experiment of the Earth being a supercomputer went wrong because the Golgafrinchans landed on it and ruined the biological software, which was life on Earth. You just see them walking away in the distance, him and Fort Prefect, and then this song comes in. And it always means that scene to me. But to many people, it means different things. And the innocence of it's beautiful. So it sounds very jazzy to me. It sounds very complicated. It sounds as if there's some kind of super complex harmony going on. And there is and there really isn't. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at a little bit of the lyrics, and we're going to talk about a very special kind of form because it's not a long song in any way. Today, this wouldn't even be a single. Let's look at me performing it very badly. And I see trees of green, red roses too, and I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I see skies of blue, and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. And I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? And they're really saying, I love you. Now your baby's crying, and I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world.
So there you go. We actually played the song. I mean, it's a song that we all actually could sing. It's not very difficult. Singing it beautiful like Louis Armstrong or anyone else who covered it beautifully is that, you need skill, which I don't have. But it's a song that's very recognizable even in a bad performance, which we already talked about. What's more important, song or performance? Watch that video. In this case, very clearly, It still works even though it's performed badly. Now, it is an AABA form. There's a, let's call it verse, we're going to get to this. There's another verse, then there's a bridge part, or a B part, and there's another verse. And the song is over. This song doesn't have a chorus, it has a refrain. Not refrain, don't be an idiot. I'm sorry, say the word right. It is a refrain. And that is the French word for refrain. A chorus is a separate part. Separate chords, separate everything. That's its own, verse, chorus, whatever. A verse, bridge, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Form. We'll talk about form in the Almost But Not Quite Complete Guide to Songwriting very early on. Here, it is a refrain, which we actually never really hit on in the course now that I think about it. Good that I'm making this video. A refrain is that one line at the end of a stanza, at the end of a verse, and you kind of have a little tagline. And there he went. Blah, 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 and there he went. I mean, not like that. That would be horrible. Bad songwriting. But you get the idea. It's this one little line. What a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It's like, all this stuff happening. And then, you know what? All this stuff, what a wonderful world. Hey, all this stuff's happening. Isn't this actually a good world? And back in the day, it wasn't. I mean, there were wars and stuff, and it's such an uplifting, beautiful song. So, let's go into verse 1. I see trees of green, red roses too. Trees of green. How beautiful that is expressed. And there's always these two things in juxtaposition. He's playing with color here. Beautiful. I see them bloom for me and you. To you, very simple rhyme, but that works. And trees and roses both bloom. It works. And you know what? Looking at nature, that's what he's saying. I think to myself, isn't it great? What a wonderful world. Very simple, 2-line verse and a refrain. Why am I saying refrain? It's refrain. Henning, don't do it. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. Again, we're going with the colors. And then 2 religious terms. The bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. Day, night, juxtaposition, both religious terms, blessed and sacred. Not really super going into God did it all, which I like. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Last verse. I hear babies crying. Now watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. Grow? No, that's nice. There's no juxtaposition here, but it's also the last one. And I think to myself, what a wonderful word. And I think to myself, what a wonderful word with a beautiful, different twist on the harmonies. In the middle, the colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky. Of course, he's going back to the colors which he's already expressed before. And the colors of the rainbow are also on the faces of people going by. I mean, accept all colors, be tolerant, fuck racism. And how beautifully hidden within those lyrics. The colors of the rainbow are also on the faces of people going by. And I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? What a simple sentiment. How you doing? How you doing? And they're really saying, I love you. I don't know if that's what they're really saying, but it's so beautiful. People shaking hands, being friends. It is the most innocent, beautiful sentiment in the song. And it always sounded, as I said, very complex to me harmonically, but it isn't. He's actually doing stuff, if he wrote it, that I never dared to do, which is actually go back and forth. So what's happening here is C, E minor, F, E minor. If you present that to me as a chord progression, or if I was sitting here, I would be like, I probably never would go to the 3. That's the 1. We're in C major. The 3 minor, after the 1, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't know why. Just doesn't sound right to me. Now, how right does it sound in the song? Which means I'm very wrong. And then to the 4, that's what I would do, but I mean, that's not, we don't want to immediately go there. Gotta reboot my iPad there. That's great because it's a placeholder. It's a parking lot of cars. It's a we're not done. We're continuing, and then the 2 minor. And in this lead sheet that I have here, no seventh or anything. So we got 1 major, 3 minor, which could be seen as an extension of 1. Because the E minor is in a C major 7. So it could be seen as like I'm almost like an inversion of this C major 7. Let's try that. Is a C major 7, is C inversion, no major 7. See, trees are green, red roses too. Yeah, you sing the 5, so that worked too. See, trees are green, red roses too. I see. It could work. It's not what's happening. It's much more simple. See, trees are green, red roses too. Then we go to the 2 minor. I see them bloom, back to 1. And now we want to go to the 6, the A minor, but he's doing a secondary dominant. That's the 1 odd chord in there. Secondary dominant, meaning the 5 of where you're going. And you're going to the A minor. So we're putting an E7, actually an E7 in front of it. I see them bloom for me and you. So that E7 is building tension to go to the A minor. And now super tension relief by actually throwing... Oh my God, that is so beautiful. And I think, and I think, well, I can't even find the note. I see the bloom for me and you, and I think. Let's find the melody here. I see. It's all on the C. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Which is also why that D minor 7 is a minor 7, because we're actually in the melody singing the C. But let's go to the A flat. Think to myself, how beautiful is that A flat? Now, first of all, I think to myself, ethereal. I'm pondering. It's an kind of an unfinished state in a way that how you can interpret that, and when you want to express floatiness, like or has this happened yet, or will this happen? You usually go to a Lydian chord. So major 7, sharp 11. Or you go to a sus chord to express unfinishedness or floatiness. And I think to myself, that's floaty, right? So why is that A flat, first of all, a chord that we can use in C major? Because A flat clearly isn't a note in C major. And why does it sound floaty at that point? Well, because we are doing a modal interchange, meaning we're quickly pretending we're not in C anymore. We're pretending we're in C minor. And we're borrowing a chord from C minor. So let's say here's my C minor, okay? And then that would be the 6 minor. The 5 would be a B flat. And the 4 would be an A flat. Okay, so we're in C major. Now we're quickly, for one chord, changing to the 4 in C minor. Not C minor, I'm sorry, I have to say, not C minor as C the 1, But where C would be the 6 minor. I always see minor keys as the key starting on the 6. It's much easier for me to, do this. Otherwise, it would be, of course, the flat 6. So when you see it from the C, this will be the flat 6 major, flat 7 major. But I see the C minor as my 6 minor, and then that's the 5 and the 4. So this is the 4 in the key of E flat major / C minor. And the 4 is the Lydian stage, the Lydian chord. This is where you could do this sound. Oh. And I think to myself, if you really want to go there, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So it is a floaty thing. It is borrowed from C minor. And it's the thing that just makes it all of a sudden, whoa, blow up. So you got this beautiful, for me and you, and I think, and it works because he's just riding on that C in the melody. If the melody changed to something odd, like, and I think, for me and you, and I think, it would be so odd. And I think it would be so odd. The melody is not leaving the key. Only the chord is. Okay? For me and you, and I think to myself, the melody is still there. What a wonderful world. Little turnaround with the G. Do the whole thing again, but at the end we don't do the G because that's the next part. So we're going to quickly do this. Skies blue to the 3, to the 4, to the white, to the 3 minor, 2 minor, 1, 5 of 6 minor, secondary dominant, to the 6 minor, to the flat 6 major, which is actually the 4 in E flat major, meaning, it's related to C minor. Can you follow me? Think to myself, 2 minor 7. That's very jazzy. Very jazzy. What a wonderful world. And I think he rests there. And now, no G, because we go to that bridge, which is also very simple. Colors of the rainbow is a 5. Pretty in the sky. Always starting on the 1. Now we start on the 5. Beautiful contrast. It lifts it. Colors in the rainbow, pretty in the sky. And going back, how simple. Also on the faces of people going by. Dude. So simple. And then 6. So friends shaking hands, 3 minor, saying, how do you do? And again, just back and forth between 2 chords, which I actually never would dare to do. And so friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? To the F, to the 4. They're really saying, back to the E, wow. And then, I love you. 5. Building tension to go back to the last verse with refrain. Why am I saying refrain? Refrain. Your baby's crying, and I watch them grow. They learn much more than you'll ever know. And I think that's the magical chord to myself. What a wonderful world. That's so cool. That's a C, B flat 7. Now I can explain the B flat 7 as a sub 5 of A. What's a sub 5? Is it actually? So instead of the 5, you can actually do the flat 5 as a chord, which in this case would be, instead of the E7, you can do the B flat, and it's a substitute for the 5. So it's going down a half step. That works, that's very jazzy. Now, why the A7 works, I don't know. It's, world, maybe it's because of the melody note. World, because that's the 5, that's the 3. Don't ask me what that is. That's the... Sharp 11? What, really? Word. So 7 sharp 11. Interesting, okay. And then it's the 5 on the A7. So maybe the melody note is what glues it together. But that A7 does not go anywhere, because now we're going to... Maybe it's that A7 major to F major 7, which actually gives me the... Maybe that movement. Maybe it's that movement why the A7 works, because A7 definitely doesn't lead to F major 7, but this... Maybe that movement is what makes it flow to the F major 7. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Now, what we can learn here is simplicity, diatonic, jumping back and forth and not really going anywhere. And then you throw in this one wonderful chord, which is the secondary dominant. And then this even more wonderful chord. This very daring modal interchange that they've done here. The Lydian chord from minor in the perfect position with the perfect word, think to myself. Is this? It's prosody at its best. It's prosody at its best. What is prosody? That's when the music expresses what the words are saying. And we teach a lot about in what course next week. Almost but not quite complete guide to songwriting is being released, and I hope you're all on board. A, it would help me a lot financially, but B, oh my God, we're gonna do 52 hours of this, but guided. And Rafa and I, and there's just so much in it. I can't even. I'm very proud of it, and if you're not becoming a better songwriter by watching it, and then there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry. I think you will. Get the course. There's also a massive giveaway for someone who buys it. So, that's it for today. What a wonderful world. I love this song. Sometimes when you look at a song that was magical to you, and you look at there's nothing magical to it. It's very, very simple. And that in the sense has happened here. It is very, very simple, but these two bits, I thought it was way more complex than what I actually found. But these two little things, that secondary dominant and that Lydian hint there, is what make it amazing. And the simplicity with the AABA form, with the refrain, which is French for refrain, it is as magical as I always heard it. And when I now hear it, it doesn't lose any of its magic. Just knowing how the trick's done doesn't mean it's, less magical. That's me for today. Rafa is coming. We film more stuff for promoting the songwriting course today. Thank you for watching. Please be with us next week when we tell you all about the course, and it goes online for sale on Sunday. Love you guys. That was Let's Talk Song. What a wonderful world, and animals at the end.